y'all? Back for another Fair Shake review. And this time we're doing Good Fridays 2018 Part 2. And we're gonna discuss Nasir by Nas. Definitely an artist that I always looked up to a lot when I was younger. So like hearing a lot of the songs on the radio and then like in a couple of games and stuff, because you know that classic hip-hop sound was kind of like in some of like the Tony Hawk games too. So yeah, definitely really dug him for a very long time. Definitely one of the hip-hop legends of late, especially even just off of Illmatic itself. Amazing artist when it comes to this rap junk, and especially because of his wonderful poetic style, along with his way to tell stories and also bring some truth to life, because he's a very smart individual as well, and he makes sure to try and spread that knowledge to others through his music as well. But that's not all he does, and he definitely displays all of that in another one of these 7-track long projects that was basically Good Fridays 2018. So it starts off with Not For The Radio featuring Puff Daddy and 070 Shake. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It may be 070. I don't know. 070 Shake. I don't know. But anyway, definitely a strong start. It's a very big sounding track that Kanye produced here, and Nas is just coming through with just like grandiose lyrics talking about gods and you know, and a bunch of unpopular opinions, speaking about the government and even some conspiracy theories, you know, about Masons, like Freemasons and old presidents, and it's just like completely not for radio, as this track is called. Cops Shot the Kid is a Kanye featured track that samples goodness gracious, Slick Rick, and basically talking a lot about you know, the gun violence that has been happening, especially with the cops towards black people themselves. Nas tackles it very well in a nice broad sense, and it allows Kanye to go in with a more specific kind of focused track where it brings it a little bit more down to an individual level. Great track, stand out to me. White Label here, man. Not one of my favorite ones, but this one is just kind of goes into how he's a little bit into how he has influenced the game, especially with a bit of what he wears fashion wise, and it's alright. Bonjour though is a pickup for me. This one here is so smooth. Well, real jazzy and really smooth production. Digs it a lot when it has Tony Williams singing all over it. And this one here is really just Nas kind of talking some stuff about, you know, his sexual exploits and the way he's able to use his sex appeal to get ladies and the experiences that he's had with them. But I mean, it's smooth enough. He really comes off as the Don on this song here, and I digs it a lot. Then we get to Everything. This one's another huge standout to a lot of people. This does almost come off somewhat as a Dream and Kanye West duet featuring Nas, though Nas does get 3 verses on here, making this a 7.5-minute song. But really, Nas, like, the duet between Kanye and The Dream is actually extremely well done, and it really opens up the track really well. Though it definitely does sound kind of more like a Kanye track instead of a Nas track, just because of the style of the production. But Nas really goes into how basically what the chorus says. You know, if I could have anything, then I would change everything. Basically, just talking about the ills of the world and just a lot of the different things that need to change to make society better. And that's what kind of Nas goes into, and even Kanye and The Dream kind of sing in a more broad sense. But yeah, great track, excellent track. Digs it a lot. Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, man, kind of goes into vices pretty much, and especially Nas's vice with sex, and it's another track that I feel you had to be in the mood for. The Dream has a featured chorus on here that is done pretty well as well, and Nas does what he has to do on this one. This one kind of feels like, I know what I'm supposed to do on this track, I'm gonna just do that. He doesn't necessarily go above and beyond on this track to me. And then it ends off with Simple Things, where another one where I kind of feel he just does what he needs to do, but he does make sure people know, because Nas has always been criticized a lot for his production. It's like, if it wasn't for his production, man, Nas would be way more popular. But I mean, he just kind of says people always talk about the production, but they come for my verses, not for the beats. People who love my music love it for what I have to say, not for what beats I'm saying them over, which is kind of true. But this project to me shows that even with some decent production, Nas sometimes doesn't necessarily show up. I don't know if it was that some of the beats didn't necessarily click with him, but this project overall is kind of a mood project for me. If I'm in the mood for some of these type of tracks, that's when I could put them on, but ones that I would definitely be willing to listen to at any time would have to be Cop Shot the Kid, Bonjour, and Everything out of the 7 tracks here. The rest of them, I could take them or leave them. I can do without them being in my regular rotation. But if you do dig Nas and you do like Kanye beats, I would check it out. It's definitely worth a listen to see which ones you would pick out of it. It was a little bit of a letdown after being announced that there's gonna be a Nas Kanye collab, but I still got some good tracks out of it, and I wasn't necessarily bored with the listen. So I think that's always a plus, that I just don't necessarily feel bored. Because if I am going to put on the project itself, the only real song I would only really skip 2 of the 7 songs if I were listening to it, and that would just be Not For Radio. I wouldn't necessarily listen to that a lot, and Simple Things. So I'd probably go from Cop Shot the Kid straight to Adam and Eve. I'd listen to all those tracks together, and I would just let it play. I wouldn't have to skip it. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I do still recommend anybody who likes what Nas has offered before to check it out, to see what you think. But that's it for me. Much love, peace, threes.